no one should accept the findings of science just at face value. But a scientific approach is, I've got this idea. What would have to be true if that were true? And how can I possibly prove it wrong? And you work harder and harder and harder to prove it wrong. And if you can't, then you have greater and greater and greater confidence that maybe it's right. And so this is what we don't see in bad faith arguments, is no one is trying to prove themselves wrong. And that sounds backwards the first time you hear it, but if you try to actually demonstrate that your own cherished beliefs are wrong and you can't do it, you have pretty good confidence at the end of that, and there is no actual end, but the longer you've gone, you have pretty good confidence that actually, I'm probably seeing something real here. I've asked myself, I've asked my friends, I've asked my enemies, is this thing right? And, in an actual formal scientific setting, you do an experiment, you run the data, and you do the analysis, but is it right or is it not? Let's see if I can prove it's not, even though I really think it is.
So you
It's a
also
really
get
good test.
you get something. There's a bonus that comes with it, which is, I don't know what else to say. It's super awesome. Which is, if you've tried to take your cherished idea, some hypothesis that you've come up with, and you've tried 16 different ways to show that it's wrong, and you keep failing. Well, every one of those things you did to see whether what you thought was true is actually false now prepares you. When somebody now challenges you and they say, oh, but you haven't thought of this. Well, you have. You've been through it 16 different ways, and that gives you the ability to navigate almost anything that's thrown at you, because you have taken on the role of being your own harshest critic in order to make sure that what's left at the end of that process is really robust. The other thing that I want to insert here is that I think, I don't want to be put in the position of defending everything that's been published in the scientific literature as true because it looks like science. A lot of it isn't. A lot of what's published in the scientific literature is not valid. The methodology does not establish what people claim it does. And that's a big hazard for people like Heather and myself, because you have to sort the wheat from the chaff in order to figure out what to defend and what to be agnostic about.